Hello everyone. We first make our habits, then our habits make us. The essential quote for everyone in this world. In this video, we discuss about the person who quoted this line. My name is YUSUF from 3rd B English. Let's enter into his life. John Dryden. John Dryden was born on 19th August 1631 in Northamptonshire. He was an English poet, literary critic, translator, and playwright who was appointed England's first poet laureate in 1668. He is seen as dominating the literary life of Restoration England to such a point that the period came to be known in literary circles as the Age of Dryden. He has a nickname Glorious John by Romanticist writer Sir Walter Scott. His first education was in Westminster School. Westminster maintained a curriculum which trained a pupil in the art of rhetoric and the presentation of arguments for both sides of a given issue. This is a skill which would remain with the Dryden and influence his later writing and thinking. As much of it displayed these dialectical patterns. The Westminster curriculum included weekly translation assignment which developed Dryden's capacity for assimilation. His first published poem, an elegy with a strong royalist feel on the death of his schoolmate Henry, Lord Hastings from smallpox. What a great friend. In 1650, Dryden went up to Trinity College, Cambridge. Here, he would have experienced a return to the religious and political ethos of his childhood. In 1654, he obtained his BA, graduating top of the list for Trinity that year. In June of the same year, Dryden's father died. Returning to London, Dryden obtained work with Oliver Cromwell's Secretary of State, John Turlough. Thereafter, he published his first important poem, Heroic Stanzas, in 1659, a eulogy on Cromwell's death which is caution and prudent in its emotional display. In 1660, Dryden celebrated the restoration of Monarch and the return of Charles II with the austere redux, an authentic royalist panegyric. After the restoration, as Dryden quickly established himself as a leading poet and literary critic of his day, he transferred his allegiances to the new government. In November 1662, Dryden was proposed for membership in the Royal Society and he was elected an early fellow. On 1st December 1663, Dryden married the royalist sister of Sir Robert Howard, Lady Elizabeth. Dryden's work occasionally contained outbursts against the married state, but also celebration of the same. With the reopening of the theatres in 1660 after the Puritan ban, Dryden began writing plays. His first play, The Wild Gallant, appeared in 1663 and was not successful, but was still promising, and from 1668 on he was contracted to produce 3 plays a year for the King's Company, in which he became a shareholder. During the 1660s and 1670s, theatrical writing was his main source of income. He led the way in Restoration comedy, his best known working being Mary a La Mode in 1673, as well as Heroic Tragedy and Regular Tragedy, in which his greatest success was All for Love in 1678. Dryden was never satisfied with his theatrical writings and frequently suggests that his talent were wasted on unworthy audience. He thus was making a bid for poetic fame off stage. In 1667, around the same time, his dramatic career began. He published Annus Mirabilis, a lengthy heroical poem which described the English defeat of the Dutch naval fleet and the Great Fire of London in 1666. It was a modern epic in pentameter quatrains that established him as a preeminent poet of his generation and was crucial in his attaining the post of poet laureate and historiographer royal. Dryden was a person who introduced the word biography to English readers in his 1683 translated edition of Plutarch's Lives. He established the heroic couplet as a standard form of English poetry by writing successful satires, religious pieces, fables, epigrams, compliments, prologues, and plays with it. He also introduced the Alexandrian and triplet into the form. Dryden was the first person who applied the term metaphysics in 1693 while referring to John Donne. Dryden is believed to be the first person to posit that English sentence should not end in the preposition because Latin sentence cannot end in the prepositions, thus forming the rule of no sentence ending preposition, subsequently adopted by other writers. At last, the life of the great English poet ended on May 12, 1700, and this video also ends with this. Remember that quote, we first make our habits, then our habits make us. Thanks for watching.